Brown, Steve Tasker with you, and pleased to welcome on set Bills linebacker Jimmy Ciarlo, just added to the active roster from the practice squad last week. Got your first NFL game action. Player appearances on One Bills Live are presented by Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the Buffalo Bills. So, I mean, you had to go through a very long year last year, rehabbing from an ACL, after you thought you might get an opportunity with the Jets. First preseason game, down you go, and it all goes up in smoke. You come all the way back from that, you get a call from the Bills, you're here, and now, lo and behold, week 5 comes along, and you're on the active roster. Like, what was last week like in light of all that you had to kind of make your way through adversity-wise over the last calendar year?
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, everything I could have hoped and dreamed of for my first NFL game. Ever since I decided that this was what I wanted to chase after, it wasn't really until late in my football career, my senior year at Army, that I decided, maybe I got a shot at this. But ever since that day, I decided, I had some friends talk me into it. They said, hey, you could really do it. I was just like, I just want to get on the field for one game. And that was really the first milestone I was after. I was like, I just want to get on the field for one game. And the atmosphere was amazing. I mean, there's no place like this, really. I've never seen anything like it. So, the community's amazing. And so, again, I'll say it's so exciting to be out there with those guys. I saw for the first few weeks, just being on the sideline. What's that?
It's a good team to be on.
An amazing team to be on. Yeah. But when you're on the sideline and you see everyone's got their jersey in their locker, you're like, man, I want to be involved in that.
I want
so bad you yearn for it, because it's like a family here. Like, the culture just drives you to want to do more for each other. And so to have that first opportunity was amazing. Obviously, I would wish we came out with a win. But
I was going to say, that sounds a lot like military culture. Would you, it's selfless. Like, do you feel it's selfless here, like with the culture here to
Absolutely.
a certain extent?
I mean, to start with, one thing that I see a lot of parallels with is the leadership. Coaching staff, Coach McDermott, and our coordinators, our position coaches, and then the player leadership. It's unmatched. I mean, I hadn't seen it at this level, but I see a lot of parallels to what I experienced in college. And I think leadership is really the biggest one, but that's what drives the culture, and they've done an amazing job here so far of what I've seen. And every player doesn't want to leave here because they love it, and players that have left and come back, they just speaks volumes to what type of place this is. Everybody loves it.
We got a chance to get to know you a little bit on the Hard Knocks series and stuff. How did you have anybody in the stands? How many tickets did you have to get?
I didn't have anybody up for this game. Just because I found out kind of later in the week. And I so I didn't get those tickets in for my dad, but he was watching at home. He was watching at home, and I'll get him up here for another one. Yeah.
He kind of became a little celebrity of his own, talking on FaceTime for some of those episodes. What has been the feedback in the neighborhood for Dad? Because I imagine he's a local celebrity on the block now.
Oh man, yeah, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. My friends will call me, and they'll call him, and they'll bust on him, and make jokes. Mostly jokes about his beard, because he didn't know he's having a beard that long.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's become a little bit of a local celebrity, but he loves it. And at the end of the day, he really just wants what's best for me.
What was the vibe? I know it's tough to take a loss, but it's been over the course. You haven't been here that long, but over the course of Josh's career, Sean McDermott's career, losses come like that. They're close. Very difficult to beat this team by more than one possession. You knew it was going to be a tight game, a division game. What's been, the aftermath of that, the message the coaches brought to the players, and also now you're starting to turn the page and you got your eyes on Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, Coach McDermott said it best after the game, and he said, the good teams will allow this to be a learning experience, and losses are inevitable in the game. At some point they're going to come, and it's what can you take from that? It's not let's let this collapse our team over the course of the next few weeks, because you see teams get in a rut, and in that kind of down phase over the next few weeks. So how can we pick that up, turn it around, and get back on track to where we were in the first few weeks there?
You're a factor on special teams, obviously, and we saw some of your exploits in the preseason, where you showed up a few times. I'm wondering, just the transition the last 2 years from college, and I don't even know if you played on special teams at Army all that much. You were a defensive starter. But obviously, kickoff coverage is different in this league with the changes they've made just the last 2 years alone, even from 24 when you're, in the offseason with the Jets to now. No more fair catch. That was a one-year rule. And now you've got, the new rules in for the 35-yard line landing zone, the whole ball. How have you adjusted maybe from the college ranks to the pro ranks to be a factor in that area of the game?
Well, like you said, obviously there are some differences between, the nuances with the new kickoff rule, punts a little bit different. But from where I come from in college, it's almost like we were a special teams first team. I mean, we repped it so much, doing individual drills for every phase, every day. And I played up until my senior year, including my senior season, on special teams. So it was, and I know I talked about culture before, but that was a huge driving factor. And, for the Army football team, it's everybody wanted to play special teams, really wanted to play special teams. So I really owe it to Coach Munkin over there, our head coach, and then Coach Attorney, our special teams coach, because that drove our culture over there, and they just drilled it into us. We repped it so often. I think that's really made the transition easier for me getting into the NFL.
Yeah. Coach Munkin gave me a coin.
Did he? Yeah, you went up there and talked to the team, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you a little fun fact. Our pregame ritual the night before when we stayed at the hotel, we'd actually watch your highlights.
Highlights.
You didn't know that? Before every game, we watch your highlights.
Seriously?
Before every single game. At the hotel.
Are you
the
kidding
special
me?
teams
As we close our meeting, we watch your highlights. Yeah. I swear.
All 20 seconds of my highlights?
No, yeah, more like
With repeats in them?
More like all 20 not they were long tapes. They were long tapes. We've seen all of them. We've seen every block punt you made, every tackle you ran down and made on punt. Yeah.
So is this in the special teams meeting, or is this in the full team meeting?
This is in the, if I remember correctly, I think it's the special teams.
Yeah,
meeting, at the end of the special teams meeting. But yeah, we threw up the fist and everything in games. Yeah, the whole deal. I'm telling you, you're a legend.
Well,
if you walk,
look at that, you weren't even in the service academy. You went to Northwestern.
If you walk into the Army football locker room, every single person would know who you are as soon as you walk.
Seriously,
that is wild.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
I was excited to meet you because I wanted to tell you that. Yeah,
no, that's awesome.
That is absolutely awesome.
I appreciate it. That's amazing.
So in 2024, you're aspiring to get in the NFL. You have your pro day. And I kind of chuckled at this because when I saw the number, I was like, well, that tracks. Because you know what the combine drills are. So you're, preparing for those. But did you even have to do any prep for the bench press? I mean, with the amount of push-ups you guys do. So he cranked out 34 reps on the bench.
That's
so
impressive.
That's a big number.
That's
a big number.
225. Yeah.
No kidding.
That's a big number even for a linebacker.
That is a
but
big
I'm
number.
thinking in my head, the guy does push-ups every day. This is just, is it second nature to you just putting it up? And you know what I mean? 34 reps is a lot.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we got finished up with the season, I did kind of a baseline, and I think I only got 11 or 12 reps right when the season ended, and obviously you only got a few months.
Right.
And you'd be surprised at just how fast you can get those numbers up if you really work it.
When you're not getting beat up by games, it's easy.
And then that's the other thing.
Yeah, that's probably the other part of it.
That's
End
the
of
other
the
thing
season,
too.
you're a little worn down.
Yeah, and you don't run as much, right? When you're running, you can lift a lot, and if you don't run, your weights go way up. And then as soon as you start running, they just sap.
Exactly. Yeah. When you're exerting yourself a lot of practice, so transitioning into it's all short bursts, like you're training for the 40, you're training for
it's good stuff,
quick drills. Yeah. You'd be surprised at how fast you can get those numbers up. But I had a great trainer, and
guys thrive on that though, man. Let's go. You got to. It's fun.
It was fun. It was great. It was great.
So time now for this week's Timbits Timeout, presented of course by Tim Hortons, where we ask the fans to give us a question to ask Bills players. This message, or question I should say, comes from Harold, who asks, how do the practices at West Point compare to the practices with the Bills?
That's a good question. Like I said, there is a huge chunk of time cut out for special teams every day at practice.
Here, or are you talking West Point?
At West Point.
Okay.
But, we spend similar amounts of times. We did more of, position-specific stuff there.
Game installs kind of the same? And
the process is a lot the same. I don't know. That's a difficult question, obviously, because being a practice squad guy, obviously I'm scouting looks for the offense,
right?
So it's kind of hard to see.
The biggest thing most guys notice is that there's 9,000 guys in college and there's 50.
That's true. It's okay. That's a very good point. So to stem off of that, we got guys running, both sides of scout team, guys running routes and then flipping over and playing scout team safety and corner, just because we're so thin at numbers.
Yeah.
So being able to have we had a huge roster at Army. mean, we bring in, maybe 150 guys at some points, 130,
That's awesome.
maybe 130 guys at some point. So like it's super deep, the roster. You have a scout team that has, second string and third team. So we had plenty of guys there.
Perfect.
Jimmy, thanks for the time. It was great to talk to you one-on-one here for the first time. We've seen you around, but we didn't get a chance to really talk to you and meet you face-to-face. So thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.